Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of F1 My Career Mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day and I hope you're all having a great start to 2026. Happy New Year. It's not a good start to the new year for Nicholas Latifi, who was announced this weekend. He is losing his ride at Williams following the 2021 season. He will not be in that car for 2022. His replacement is yet to be announced but expected to be Alex Albon. That's the only bit of silly season news we got this weekend. As the news continues to come out, we still have, of course, a few things to determine. Who's going to be alongside George Russell at Aston Martin? Who's going to be alongside Max Verstappen at Red Bull? As I heard Red Bull, actually, we're going to know next episode, like guaranteed, we will know. So, and from what I'm hearing is it could be Fernando Alonso over Yuki Tsunoda, which would just shock everybody, I feel like. As last episode, of course, we were in Sochi for the Russian Grand Prix, the final Russian Grand Prix for the time being, and we had a very interesting race there. Had a decent result just inside the top 10. We settled the score with Charles Leclerc, so hopefully we can put the Leclerc beef behind us for the remainder of the season. We just got a handful of races left as Valtteri Bottas was able to overcome a bit of adversity there of kind of losing a few spots and got himself back to the top step of the podium in Sochi to pick up another victory and as well extend that championship lead even further over Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. And we said it, if he won Russia, he was going to have one hand on the championship trophy, and that's exactly what happened. Valtteri Bottas is one step closer to becoming a two-time, and not only a two-time, but a back-to-back Formula One world champion. Now, there's still time. We know, we saw the way things went last season. We know there's still time for things to completely change and flip upside down for whoever's leading this championship. So I'm not content if I'm Valtteri Bottas until you get to really 2-3 races remaining in the season with this current situation of the points. As we come through though, here's Saturday afternoon into qualifying now, and well, the rain is absolutely chunking it down, and I was pretty confident with my pace in practice. Might not have necessarily shown on the leaderboard, but I wasn't as confident in these conditions here for qualifying, so I was a little bit concerned as we would get through into Q2. We were P13 over, you see Stroll and Schwartzman, Perez out alongside Mick Schumacher, Antonio Giovinazzi, Esteban Ocon, and Nicholas Latifi all out in Q1. As we fast forward now into Q2 and hoping I'm gonna have enough pace to make it into Q3, but definitely, like I said, a little bit concerned. We missed Q3 in Russia last episode. We have been kind of struggling a little bit again in qualifying in some of these recent races, and then of course you put me at a track where it's just a downpour. Is going to be a bit of a challenge now, as I was giving it everything I had as we come through to the end of the lap here through 130R, and we're going to lose the rear end of the car into the barrier, and we're done in qualifying. A big hit to the barrier, and qualifying is over, and I just completely junked the car, and it looks like we're going to be starting the Japanese Grand Prix from 15th position. Wow, we got our work cut out for us now. That was not ideal. Ricardo, our teammate there in P7, has Albon, Stroll, Russell, Schwartzman, all there out qualify us, obviously, and they will join us out. Russell, a bit of a surprise there, as we'll head to Sunday. Fortunately, it's going to be dry. Hopefully we can work our way forward, but we have got some serious work to do if we want to get into the points.
We come to you live today from the Mie Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen many title deciders over the years. Some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. 18 corners make up a lap of the incredible figure-of-8 Suzuka circuit, with 10 to the right and 8 to the left, for a distance of 3.6 miles. Average lap speeds around here are fairly quick. If it stays dry, then expect somewhere in the region of 136 miles per hour. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Why don't we discuss Red Bull? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Ricciardo, Carlos Sainz, and Gasly, Leclerc, Vettel, Norris, and Daniel Kvyat, Stroll, Perez, Antonio Giovinazzi, the Rainmaster, Magnussen, Ocon, George Russell, and Nobuharu Matsushita. Latifi and Alexander Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Max Verstappen on pole. Can he get back to the top step of the podium to keep his championship hopes alive? We're starting on the softs, going onto the hard compound tire. Pretty straightforward strategy. We should be able to work our way forward pretty well, I feel like, against some of these guys, like Schwartzman at least. Not sure about George Russell in Racing Point there. They've kind of dropped off here in the last few races now. Russell, who was, fighting for podiums, I mean, 5 races ago, he's kind of had a bit of a rough stretch here in the last few, but it's going to be an interesting Grand Prix. I mean, obviously not the situation we want to be in, and my teammate of Daniel Ricciardo, by the way, up there on row 2, qualified in P4. What a great effort there as he's continuing to have a pretty unfortunate season. Of course, picked up damage in turn 1 in Russia and had a miserable race there. Can he turn things around here late in this season? Let's find out now as we are 5 red lights ready to go racing. The Japanese Grand Prix is underway. We are racing here from Suzuka circuit. 27 laps of racing as expected. Poor start from myself there, and both Perez and Schumacher get me into turn number 1. Bottas runs Hamilton out wide in turn 1. Verstappen's through in front, stays in front, I should say, as Ricciardo's gonna lunge at Hamilton. Doesn't quite have anything for him, so it'll be Verstappen, Bottas, and Hamilton, who I'm sure is not gonna be thrilled with getting run out wide by his teammate of Valtteri Bottas. Now, as Bottas at this point this season knows he can really get both hands on the championship title, he is not gonna play easy. Another thing that could happen today, and likely will, is Mercedes can actually win the Constructors' Championship right here in Suzuka today, so do not be surprised at all if that happens. Now, as we head down into the hairpin, and I myself making a move up the inside here of Perez and getting alongside George Russell, and this would move us up into P13 if we can complete the pass on the BWT pink and white and blue powered Racing Point. Now, as however, Russell's going to have just enough to hang on, so we'll settle in behind him and get ready to maybe make a move right here down this back straightaway if we can get a nice run here, maybe catch him off guard. We get the overtake on, and actually look at the run we do have. We're going to make a move in towards 130R, get up the inside, a dangerous corner to go side by side through, but we clear him before we even hit the apex, so George Russell made that pretty easy there. He didn't really fight that one, so I appreciate the sportsmanship on that one, saying, hey, you're faster, lap 1, I'm just going to let you have it. So Max Verstappen completes the opening lap in front of this grid here in Japan, and if you look at the track map, as we're on lap 2, look as they go through the hairpin, so it's Verstappen and Bottas, but Hamilton's not keeping up very well right now with Bottas and Verstappen. I have to wonder if he's kind of lacking some speed here this weekend, is that gap would continue to grow between him and the cars in front as we come to lap 4 at this point. He's continuously under pressure from my teammate of Daniel Ricciardo. I mean, he lunged at Bottas into turn 1 on the opening lap until he got ran wide. I don't know if that had anything to do with maybe the lack of pace he's experiencing right now, but definitely going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out, because Ricciardo, he's continuing to pressure Lewis Hamilton here, and I mean, he might have an opportunity to pass Lewis Hamilton with DRS right here down into turn number 1, and as well, don't look back there, you got Carlos Sainz ready to pounce now, as actually they went wide off track now as Ricciardo gets through on Hamilton, and now here comes Carlos Sainz at the 6-time champion. Can't quite make that one happen. Hamilton stays ahead for now. Really interesting situation there for Lewis Hamilton. Not a great deal for him, as we are now all over the back here of one of the Rookie of the Year contenders of Robert Schwartzman. It's pretty obvious who's going to win Rookie of the Year. It's going to be Yuki Tsunoda, I would imagine, as we are now pressuring the Alfa Romeo now, as this lineup here at Alfa Romeo expected to remain the same next season, Perez and Schwartzman, and yeah, that's going to be interesting as well. Some rumors that this is another team that could get bought out going into not 2020 2022, but 2023, 2024, there is some rumors of they are exploring a sale as well, and Audi has been exploring some potential possibilities of joining Formula One. So we do get the job done though on Schwartzman, and now we have run down Lance Stroll, and we're going to try and set him up not for 130R, but for on the exit of 130R and in towards that final chicane. Right here, we're going to make the move to the left side of fellow Canadian and down into this final chicane. We're going to move through, actually a bit of a lock up there on the left front, but we're all good. We'll clear Lance Stroll, another position gain, and just like Russia, qualifying poorly, but in the race, we're working our way forward very, very nicely here as we are now into P11 behind 10th place of Yuki Tsunoda. We just got to continue to run him down, and actually a strategy change here that I would agree with. Instead of going to hards on lap 9, we're going to stay out till lap 12, and then we'll put on the medium compound tire. That was recommended from our race engineer, and I said, you know what, I actually kind of like that idea. So we are going to follow suit with that as we are very quickly running down Yuki Tsunoda as well as Lando Norris, and I mean, we're just a few moments away from getting ourselves into a fight to get ourselves into the points. Now just, of course, 20 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and as we get closer towards Tsunoda, we're going to have DRS down the front straight away. Speaking of DRS, Hamilton, who I can confirm, as you can see, did actually get passed by Carlos Sainz. Well, he's actually going to pass him back down the front straight away, so Hamilton at least moves through, and we are seeing a lot of cars run wide in turn 1 here this weekend in Suzuka for whatever reason, as we have gotten to the back of Tsunoda. Now Lando Norris is in an AlphaTauri sandwich there between Gasly and Tsunoda. Of course, we know AlphaTauri, they will remain as that team next season. There was rumors, I mean, a lot of the season that Andretti and Cadillac was going to buy that team, but they turned out to actually buy out Haas instead. So we know Red Bull is committed to AlphaTauri for at least one more season. The question is, how long will that last as we head down towards turn 1, as now Charles Leclerc has come into the pits with a few others as well, as we now enter the top 10 here as the pit cycle continues on now. As I said as well, AlphaTauri, maybe they're not secure. Red Bull still could be exploring a sale, but maybe for like an unexpected partner or something, who knows. But as we now approach lap 11, expecting to see more drivers pit. My teammate of Daniel Ricciardo has come in. Lewis Hamilton has come into the pits as well, so we're going to pass both of them. Obviously, we're not really racing them. We might be racing Hamilton. Hamilton's struggling on pace. We might end up be racing him hard towards the end of this race if he continues to struggle, as Verstappen and Bottas would now pit, and we, of course, are staying out to the end of this lap right here, lap 12. All these guys in front of me, of course, they're going longer because they're on the medium compound tire to start this race. So we're just going to follow Tsunoda, Norris, and Gasly throughout the remainder of this lap, and then we're going to come in to the pits and get some tires, medium tires specifically, on this Renault, and then go hard to the end of this race. You got Lance Stroll, P6 just behind us as well, and then Alex Albon. Those guys also stretching this out a little long, as we're going to finally come to the end of lap 12 and dive down into the pit lane here, get down to the 50-mile-per-hour speed limit. Lance Stroll is going to come in. I would expect Alex Albon, maybe, no, Albon's staying out actually, so we are going to come in now, and no, Albon does pit, sorry, but we come in and we get the mediums on, and very solid stop right there from the team, and we have no competition around us right now. The question is, do we come out in a clean kind of slot? Looks like we do. Very good position to come out in right here. P12 behind Charles Leclerc and then Carlos Sainz. So they're on hards, which means we are going to have quite an advantage here for, I mean, probably, I would say the next 5, 6 or so laps at least. We're going to really have a speed advantage, and then of course it's going to slowly start to level off with their hards and then transition towards the favorability of their hards at the end of the race. But we are going to really have to, from right now, lap 13, coming to 14, all the way through to, you know, 17, 18 or so, we are really going to have to punish these mediums to try and make up some time, as we pass Giovinazzi in the pits as well as Tsunoda, and there's Norris as well. So we move ourselves up into P9, and they also were going on the hards. Of course, they started on the mediums, transitioned to the hards. They could not take off to the end of this race. So as these laps continue on, later on lap 14, we are already within 1 second of Charles Leclerc, and he's behind his teammate of Sebastian Vettel. So right now, Ferrari running P7, P8. We already know those two are locked in at Ferrari next season, as they hope for a rebound season. 2020 did not treat them very well. Only one win, and it was for Sebastian Vettel right here when we ran Suzuka, but the short configuration, and obviously Ferrari have only won one race this season with Leclerc earlier this season. season in Azerbaijan. It's been a rough 2020 and a rough 2021 for Ferrari after promising years in 2018 and 2019. I mean, even going back before that, 2017 as well. So they are really looking for a rebound now, as we're going to go for a move on Charles Leclerc into the final chicane. A little bit close quarters right there. All is fair, as we'll be side by side trying to settle this score we did last episode. I'm trying to race him clean. Hopefully he's going to do the same, as we're going to run him a little bit shallow here towards the inside wall. We'll be side by side into turn number 1. Leclerc's not going to give it up, and he's going to run us off the racetrack again. Here we go again. Leclerc runs into the side of us, bangs wheels, and off the track we go. He knows what game he's playing. He better hope I don't get back to him. I mean, I preached it last episode. I am not going to let Leclerc shove me around and him have the last laugh. We are going to make sure the score is settled, and I have more pace than him right now. It's not like Monza where he ran me off the racetrack and I couldn't run him back down and I had to wait to Sochi. No, I think we can get him right here, right now, today. So if the opportunity presents itself, if I can straight up overtake him and clear him in a clean way, I'm still going to do that. I mean, it'd kind of be funnier that way. You ran me off the racetrack and I just passed you anyways and drove away. And we have immediately gotten right back to him here on lap 18. And as well on top of that, look right in front of us. Lewis Hamilton is leading this little group right here as he is continuing to struggle on pace. Ricciardo is in P3. Hamilton's wide. On lap 19, Hamilton's gone wide. He's under pressure again from Carlos Sainz. So now I kind of have to wait this out a little bit now before I'm making moves, waiting to kind of see what happens in front of us now, as I'm just not quite close enough to Leclerc to make any moves yet. But Max Verstappen comfortably leads over Valtteri Bottas as well. Ricciardo is in P3, and he's not very far off of the Mercedes as well, having a great run, my teammate Ricciardo. Finally, this is going to be a season day right here for him, as now up in front of us again. Hamilton again wide on lap 20. Now he's going to be really side by side with Carlos Sainz. Hamilton struggling. He's watching any hopes of a 7th championship in 2021 slip away. Sainz, where's he going? Off the racetrack. He slides into the gravel. He's going to come back onto the racetrack. Hopefully no one's coming at an awkward spot. Speaking of that, Lando Norris slams into the side of him. Norris is off now, and we'll stay green, but Norris, you see another look at it, slams into the side of the Spaniard. The two McLaren teammates come together. We move into P7, chaos kicking off in the final 10 laps of this Japanese Grand Prix. So Norris is going to have to pit, of course, for a new wing, and Carlos Sainz plummets down to P9. What an adventure that lap was right there, as we continue on and watch the battles in front of us now, as Sebastian Vettel is now going after Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton is just driving like a madman at this point, trying to keep anybody behind him, and it's just a matter of time, I feel like, until all of us are going to be passing him here. Hamilton is in serious trouble in these closing laps now, as I am still sticking with Leclerc. Now we actually got a bit of a run here towards 130R. I'm not going to go for the move into 130R. You know what? Yes, I am. Up the inside we go, side by side with the Monegasque, and I thought about waiting, and then I kind of, said let's go for it now, as we'll go side by side here through the final chicane. And Leclerc, we know, is not going to make this easy. He re-clears me. Hold on. Switchback with the DRS now on the overtake. Vettel's about to attack Hamilton, and we attack Leclerc, and we're going to clear him. We pass him the clean way. That's how you do it, Charles Leclerc, and we didn't even give him a chance to keep us behind him there, to run us off the racetrack, and now we can focus in on trying to run down Sebastian Vettel as well as Lewis Hamilton. Just 4 laps to go, coming to 3 laps to go in this race at this point now, and I am fully aware, of course, that these mediums are starting to fall off, so I know it's going to be hard to get rid of Charles Leclerc, and as we come to 3 to go, Vettel is now overtaking Lewis Hamilton. He clears Lewis Hamilton. He moves into P4. Hamilton will drop to P5, and he is continuing to be in trouble, and still not sure what in the world the issue is with Hamilton's car, but both myself and Leclerc are probably going to run him down in this next couple of laps. Now Max Verstappen, he's on cruise control. He is, stepped up. This is the performances he was putting up earlier in the season when he was winning the first couple of rounds, and finally he's kind of back on form, maybe at the perfect time. Bottas is kind of looking like he's going to settle for P2, and Daniel Ricciardo, what a day he's going to score P3 if he hangs on. But here we come up now to within DRS range, coming to 2 laps to go in Hamilton. Leclerc, he's only 0.5 of a second behind me, so we are still absolutely not safe, and I don't have much left in this medium tire, which is exactly why I'm not able to shake the Ferrari, and he actually closes in quite a bit right here, now within 0.4 of a second as we head down the front straightaway with 2 laps to go. We're not quite going to get in position here to make a move on Lewis Hamilton, unfortunately, into turn 1, so it's going to have to wait until the last lap of this race. Obviously, I want to pass Hamilton down the front straightaway with DRS and hopefully be able to kind of defend off Leclerc, which should be pretty easy as Verstappen starts the final lap, and we have run down Hamilton. We're going to go for a side-by-side approach here into the final chicane. Now I know I've got the DRS, so here we go. Coming to the final lap here, and actually Leclerc is going to be right here on my rear wing as we start this final lap. Hold on, Hamilton, he's going to be under pressure from 2 drivers. We're going to split him 3 wide. Leclerc right, myself left. Leclerc's up the inside into turn 1. He's going to run us a little bit wide again now, side by side, as we head down towards the S's. Who's going to give? It's not going to be me. We run him shallow. We collide. We both crash. Leclerc's around. I'm around as well. It has hit a new peak here in Suzuka now. Leclerc and myself, no one willing to give, and we wreck each other as he'll get back on the racetrack. We'll follow suit, and we are both out of the points on the final lap of this Japanese Grand Prix. Maybe, I don't know, I mean, I certainly ran him shallow, but I mean, he barged me off the racetrack earlier and he ran me wide. He didn't actually hit me, I don't think, in turn 1 on the last lap there. But he certainly did not leave me any room on the racetrack. He ran right to the curb when I was on his outside. Max Verstappen is going to win a dramatic Japanese Grand Prix and get himself a little bit closer to the championship fight. Valtteri Bottas brings it on P2. Daniel Ricciardo on the podium for Renault. At least a highlight there as we are going to end up 14th. And what's Leclerc? He's going to be P11 to come across the line. And, well, this is going to be something that's going to really go over into the next episode as we cross the stripe to finish things off here. Wow. Dramatic race, to say the least. I don't think I need to say anything about what happened there with him.
The stewards want to talk to you and Leclerc after the race. Head over there.
And there you hear it. We have been summoned immediately, both myself and Charles Leclerc, to the stewards following today's race. And I feel like if I had to make a guess, considering this has been going on for, you know, I mean, since the first races of my F1 career last season, I feel like now it's kind of hit a new boiling point of where we've actually wrecked each other for the first time and, you know, put ourselves in harm's way of other drivers. Hamilton had to avoid us. I don't think the stewards are going to be very happy with that, and I feel like if I had to guess, the messaging is going to be, hey, you guys need to stop this now, or we're going to do something about it. I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be some penalty points handed out to both of us. Leclerc was handed penalty points to his FIA license last season for some contact with us, but I feel like both of us are probably going to get dinged for this one. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm just glad Leclerc didn't get points as well, if I'm being completely honest. We'll take a look at the standings now, and Max Verstappen gets a little bit closer. Hamilton actually gains a couple of points out of me and Leclerc wrecking each other, so I'm sure he's happy about how that played out. And you see the gap, though. Hamilton's now 51 points back, Verstappen 37 points back, and I think we've got just 4 races left following today. We head to Circuit of the Americas, the United States Grand Prix next episode. There's going to be a lot to unpack in that one, and certainly some news from the stewards cracking down on us. Mercedes, by the way, they have clinched the Constructors' Championship. It is over. Mercedes has won an 8th consecutive World Championship in the Constructors. That does it for me. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.